Originally introduced in Tekken 1 through Yoshimitsu's ending cinematic, Forrest Law is the son of King of Iron Fist tournament veteran Martial Law. Although made slightly obscure by the ever-broadening pantheon of Tekken fighters, Forrest remains a fascinating part of Martial's story and an interesting character in his own right. Appearing in the base roster of Tekken 3, Tekken Tag Tournament, Tekken Advance, and Tekken Card Challenge, the firstborn of Martial Law has yet to be seen in another Tekken title as a playable character since the home console release of Tekken Tag Tournament 2, where he was featured alongside his father and reintroduced as a DLC fighter. Although the most apparent similarity is their shared likeness with real-life actor Bruce Lee, both Forrest and Martial share a close relationship with fellow martial artist and prominent Tekken veteran Paul Phoenix. As a matter of fact, it's because of Paul that Forrest enters the King of Iron Fist tournament at all. To quote the English game manual for Tekken 3's PS1 release, Forrest is Martial Law's proud son. Paul dragged him into the tournament, but he now feels that this is an ideal opportunity to prove his strength to his father and to himself. Tekken 3's Prima Strategy Guide, released during the same month as the game's US PlayStation release in April of 1998, goes into further detail regarding this particular relationship. Living in his father's shadow, the proud son of Martial Law, Forrest trains at his father's dojo to achieve Law's success and greatness. As a protective father, Martial has forbidden his son from entering any contests outside the dojo. Martial's longtime friend and competitor, Paul Phoenix, visits once every few months to spar with Martial. One day, when Paul arrived, Martial was away supervising the building of a new dojo. Paul insisted that Forrest join him in some training exercises. Forrest declined, knowing that his father would disapprove. But Paul wouldn't take no for an answer. Unaware of Martial's restriction on fighting, Paul suggested to Forrest that he join the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3. Paul sold Forrest on the idea by telling him he's a better fighter than his father. Forrest knew his father would be angry, but he had to prove that he was worthy of one day inheriting the dojo. Martial was enraged when he found out what happened. To him, it was as if his son had been kidnapped. Despite his limited time as a leading representative of the Law family in the Tekken series, Forrest does quite well for himself and seemingly came away from the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3 unscathed. While particularly nothing is known for sure about any one of Forrest's bouts to the outside world, it can be inferred that he and Paul share the road on their travels throughout the tournament. Considering this, it's also not unlikely that Forrest had made contact with the ancient monster Ogre, seeing as Paul Phoenix was the combatant to do the old war god in. Or, at least, Paul himself believed he was the one to defeat Ogre. Ultimately failing to actually kill the ancient alien in his true form, this particular victory would be passed along to one Jin Kazuma. Despite their respective successes as combatants, neither man would walk away as the true victor of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3. Returning to his father's dojo, Forrest Law has a newfound confidence following the events of the Tekken. Despite his original disposition, Martial seems far less hostile towards his son than one would anticipate, with Paul's original appraisal and intuition being proven true by Tekken 3's end. Jumping forward a couple years in time, Forrest would become one of the core reasons for his father's return to combat in Tekken 5 specifically. After the events of Tekken 4, and just as the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 is beginning, Forrest gets himself into an accident while riding Paul's bike. Martial, taking on the financial responsibilities of his son, enters the King of Iron Fist Tournament to pay off Forrest's legal and medical debts. Although Forrest remains unplayable in any other mainline Tekken game from Tekken 3 onward, he makes brief cameos in both Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection and Tekken 6, during Lily's prologue and in the background of the Rustic Asia stage, respectively. And that's the story of Forrest Law, and this is also kind of a sudden, not really sudden, but pretty different trajectory I'm taking the channel in again. But do not fret. I think these will be pretty consistent. I'm gonna try to focus on doing little Tekken lore videos for a while. Definitely other games, definitely other series. But you get into Tekken, it's kind of like a weird, very interesting little rabbit hole in of itself that no other. It's kind of like Street Fighter in some ways, I guess. They're a little more open and they're not really open. I'd say Tekken is actually more open-ended in a literal sense, but there's just more shit they give you to chew on with Street Fighter. I don't know. That might just be my interpretation. Either way, expect more videos like this. Thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe. Goodbye.
Paul, Forrest was in an accident. I really need that prize money. You've gotta let me win.
Marshall, I'm sorry, buddy, but I gotta be the toughest in the universe.
You know, Forrest. I'm begging you.
Shut it! I'm gonna be number one, and that's final!
Damn! You'll be eating fried rice through a straw when I'm done with you.